skylight.
Hey everybody, this is Erica from the Classy Climb blog, coming to you guys today with Khalil and Kira of Charm City Buyers. Hopefully you guys can hear me. So anyway, today is, you know what, Freedom Friday, and the government shutdown almost cut off the show, but we are here creating our own economy. And you know what, if you don't know me and you're a brand new subscriber, you're new to the channel. Right now, my name is Erica Williams from the Classy Climb blog, Smartphone Millionaire. You can grab this on Amazon on the links below. It's how to invest in real estate, businesses, and people from the palm of your hand. It's a great vibe. So everybody, I have two amazing guests. We have them in the panel style because they're in two different locations right now. But they are husband-wife team of Charm City Buyers out of Baltimore, Maryland. Now, y'all know what we do on a Freedom Friday. You come in the chat, you hit the like button. It's already 50 some of y'all in here. Drop your city and state so we can see where there's more places for us to do meetups, happy hours, events. You just never know. It helps us, helps you figure out best way to work together. So if you could introduce yourselves, Kiara and Khalil, make sure you unmute yourselves when you come in.
Yes. Yeah, so I'm Kiara from Charm City Buyers down here in Baltimore, Maryland.
What's up, everybody? It's Khalil, Charm City Buyers here in Baltimore.
All right, you guys. So listen, I'm going to give a shout out to some of the people as we're coming in. We got a lot of Raleigh, Los Angeles, South Carolina, Houston. Who else we got? Columbus, Ohio, Atlanta, Louisiana. Are there any Maryland folks in the building? Are there any DC folks in the building?
Come on, be more stand up.
Driving in the traffic right now. So go ahead, that lovely, beautiful city traffic y'all got up there.
Just because we don't have dirt roads like
hey. Listen, nobody retires up north. Y'all know the rules. No one retires up north.
Hey now, everybody keep the peace, all right? Let's keep the peace.
So we got a lot of Chicago in the building. We do have a Washington, D.C. What's up? We have some more Chicago, NYC in the building, St. Louis. We got California, Washington. Okay, yep, I see you. I see you, VA, Richmond, Virginia, Winston-Salem, Louisiana. I don't know how to say that. Houston, Texas. All right. So look, you guys, we made it. The government is shut down, but we're here. 21 days strong. We've survived.
We have
survived. We have our own economy. So, if you guys don't know who these two are, I want to definitely introduce you to them. So first of all, kind of give them an overview, Khalil, of where you guys are now, and then kind of give them a workup of where you guys can, how you guys got started.
Absolutely. So things have been moving at light speed for us, and it's so exciting. I'll start with where we started. In 2012, we purchased our first piece of property. It was a 3-unit shell, and we renovated it through networking and raising funds and using other people's money, which is something that we coach as many of our clients as possible on. Fast forward to today, we have rentals, we've got flips, we do consulting, we got property management, we got construction management, we do educational services. It's kind of blossomed into this whole one-stop shop, vertically integrated real estate development company that both my wife and I still own 50-50.
So was it like, so did you have an ideal, or did she have the ideal, or you just were like, let's go do this?
Great question. I have to give her 100% credit. She started it and said, Khalil, let's do some real estate investing. And I said, I'm entrepreneurial. You love real estate? Sure.
Okay. Now listen, you guys, on the show, here, make sure you unmute yourself so they can hear you. So you guys, I gave a challenge to the Classy Climbers to go find a video. and they delivered. Not only did I get like 30 different messages, but they found a really great renovation show. What was the name of the show you guys are on? So not only are they from Maryland, you guys, not only do they look 25 and they own like a bunch of property, they were actually on TV. So they
You said we look 25.
People be always like, how old are they?
How old are they? Yeah, so we were on this show called First Time Flippers, which was a really cool opportunity. What we decided was it was a great opportunity to show something different on TV, right? You don't usually see Baltimore in those shows, and you definitely don't see young people flipping, and you damn sure don't see Black young couples flipping in Baltimore on TV. So it wasn't necessarily our first flip, but folks asked us to go for the show, and we did. And So they followed us along on the journey of flipping this house in Upper Fells Point in Baltimore.
So did they pick this house or you picked this house?
We did. Yeah, it was a real flip. So we had to make sure that they understood that we were really doing this, and and so when they tried to try to point us in directions, or as we're like trying to schedule time to come shoot the home, we're like, all right, but you gotta follow our schedule because you're not messing with my money. But yeah, it was a house that we were actually flipping. It's just timing and everything worked out really well, so that as we started the project, they came out within the first couple of weeks to shoot it post demo, and just came out throughout the entire process.
So I'm laughing because when I actually did get to see the video that I got sent like 300 times. Thank y'all all Classy Climbers. I appreciate all the research team. I'm starting to call y'all research team out here. It looked like Khalil here came out. They walked off college campus in they like t-shirt and shorts. They're like, we're coming to flip houses. I was like, what is this? But look, there's 85 of y'all in here. Make sure you hit that like button. Now it's 89. Steady coming up. It's 90. It's Friday. Come on, bring it in here, you guys. If you have questions about house flipping, if you have questions about Baltimore, throw them in the chat and we'll ask them as we go on. So right now, what do you guys have current investments, Khalil?
Our current investments, man, yeah, we've got a lot of different things. Our current investments, we got a lot of different things going on. So we've got 7 active flips right now. We've got construction projects for other developers who are looking for a strong team to deploy onto their projects. We've got over 20 rental properties. And we've got some pretty big stuff in the works. I don't want to jinx myself because we close at the end of this month and my fingers are crossed. But we're looking at a pretty large scale deal. We'll have to jump back on the show after closing.
You guys, I'm letting out the bag. We bought a mansion in LA. We're all moving to LA. So, actually, we're Airbnb-ing it out with our manager Kendra. Now,
Manager Kendra.
So what do you guys attribute to that success? Because a lot of times I bring couples on and they're like, oh, we talked about it and then it just happened. And I'm like, come on, give it to us the real. Like, what do you attribute to like wanting to do that at such a young age? Which I think you said 23 and 21 or 22.
Yeah, so it was definitely just kind of coming together and figure out what each of our goals were, and then trying to figure out kind of what our goals were together. And so we tried a bunch of different things, tried to play around with different options, and came to real estate as being the best approach for us. But really the success of it, because it's not just starting, right? But it's how do you make it through to like this point, and how do you continue on from this point? And a lot of it has to do with just kind of balancing each other out, trying to fill each other's gaps, and where I'm not strong, him kind of be strong, and persevering through those ups and downs. Because while we were building portfolios and buying blocks, we were also parents and married and having a whole, at a point we were both employees, right? There was a lot of different titles and roles that we had to play. So we spent a lot of time trying to balance each other out, keep each other motivated, focus on our why and what we were trying to do, why we were trying to accomplish that, to be able to navigate all of the nice little tests the School of Hard Knocks likes to give you throughout the process when you're starting out without the mentors and the guides and all the stuff that a lot of people have now. We kind of figured things out the hard way. So we were able to just, leverage each other to stay focused and push through.
I like that.
If you ask me, for me, it's like, it's all of that, of course, yes. But it's also a lot of like, just get it done. Put your head down and just keep going. Got to persevere, got to do hard work, got to lean on each other's strengths, like Kiara said. And you just got to find a way. If you don't know something, you reach out to people in your network who you do know, and you make it happen.
Okay. So look, there's 96 of y'all in here. I see the questions coming in. Keep the questions coming so I can roll it to them. And so we'll do a little segue cut here. So yes, the name of the show is Government Shutdown Almost Cut My Show Today. Well, originally me and Khalil were going to do a show on Friday about opportunity zones. But you know what? You can't have no government hearing if the government shut down, y'all. Think about it now. Donald Trump is smart. Now, so there was supposed to be a hearing today, and it would have helped create our show about opportunity zones. But I think this is a perfect time for people to even talk about creating your own economy, talk about investing in real estate. Why? Many people are asking questions they never asked before, like, do I still have to pay my landlord? Do I still have to do all that? Yes, you do. You do have to pay your landlord. You have to pay your bills. And the short kind of synopsis is life goes on. Even though government workers are like a small part of our economy, when I just did a Google search to kind of see like who's really being affected in this moment, just to give y'all some numbers, because you know your girl like numbers. When people were Googling, will my tax refund be affected by the government shutdown? Number 1 state was West Virginia. Number 2 state was Arkansas. Number 3 state, Kentucky. Number 4 state, Louisiana. Number 5 state, New Hampshire. Why is that important? That has not, those states are not even in Baltimore, DC, Maryland, any of those states. Those are in the heartland. Okay. When I Googled, will food stamps be cut off if the government shutdown continues? You had number 1 state was Louisiana. Number 2 state was Florida. Number 3 is Alabama. Number 4 is Georgia. Number 5 is Oklahoma. Now, when I actually even Googled government shutdown, what were the number 5 places that people were actually like, how I'm being affected by the government shutdown? Number 1 was DC. Number 2 was Maryland. Number 3 is Virginia. Number 4 is Alaska and Hawaii. Now, the reason I thought that was so unique is if you know anything about Alaska or Hawaii, there's a ton of government workers in those states. And if you know anything about Alaska or Hawaii, they're very expensive in tandem with DC and Maryland being very expensive. And this is a perfect time for us to talk about this and really talk about controlling your environment, because if you think about it, this week, 2 weeks, y'all, it's been 2 weeks, really. So 2 weeks is enough to throw half the country off. 2 weeks is enough to like shake your foundation. That should be a wake-up call that, you know what, this year I'm going to do something different with my money. I'm going to invest my money so it works back for me, so that I can be, you know what I'm saying, so I can make it work, make it do it do. Also, I thought something interesting is Ben Carson's raising Section 8 threefold. So them cheap rents, hey. And that plays into where we had Kendra on the show talking about Berry Farms. Berry Farms is prime real estate right now. So again, all these things make sense. I see all the comments. I will hit y'all up in a second. Okay,
I was saying earlier on Twitter, because we were talking about the government shutdown, how people are all being infected. And I'm like, well, this is kind of the best time of year to have a reminder that says these jobs ain't loyal, right? You can't be out here really betting on that paycheck every 2 weeks or every other week or something like that. You have to, it doesn't have to be real estate. It doesn't have to be, trucks. You don't have to wholesale. You don't have to do a lot of things, but you do have to make sure that you're making sure your money works and your money's job and your money is doing its job, and its job is to make you more money. So in whatever way or avenue that you take is up to you. But if your money isn't working for you, you're doing yourself a disservice. Your 9 to 5 should be paying for your 5 to 9, right? Your main hustle should help to inform and create your side hustle. So if the government shuts down, if your job downsizes, if your hours get cut, you're still in a position to survive for 2 weeks. There's too many people who are like, really, really struggling, and 100%. Michaela's out here like removing furniture.
We see you, baby. We see you.
But people like can't survive for missing one paycheck, 2 paychecks, and it's killing them, and that's a shame, and that's a complete testament to the fact that people don't have their emergency savings aside. They don't have their side hustle going. They're not set up to be able to do what they need to do. They're completely reliant on that paycheck, and that is a dangerous place to be.
On the other side of things, it's even affecting people who have businesses and who have different things going in their own kind of world. I know somebody recently who tried to apply for an EIN number, and with the government shutdown, they weren't able to get an EIN, so they have to close on a property and an LLC that they didn't plan on it and switch things over later. It's an inconvenience. It's not something major like somebody living on fixed income and having to now figure out how they're going to get food stamps and get their paycheck or something. But it's impacting the broad American base.
Yeah, I mean, it's a ripple effect. And so it's almost like a test. It's almost like a reminder, wake up call. Because, every year we tell people you got to save some money, put some money away, you guys, invest your money. And everybody's like, okay, hush that mess up, right? And this is perfect because it's right after Christmas, right, New Year's. So there's some comments in the chat where people are saying, oh, these women had to sell cheesecake to make their rent. Like, what? So again, in this channel, I always want you guys to remember, as you're throwing me more questions, and I thank you for all the questions, in this span of like 2 weeks, you're telling me you didn't have a savings account, you don't have any credit cards, you don't have enough 6 months worth of food lined up, you don't have any family members who can help, you don't have, we're going through multiple layers of where this should be protection. You don't have money to take out of your TSP account. There's a couple different things that they're missing in this equation. So it's like, wake up, people. You should have like several layers to protect you from homelessness.
Absolutely. And then you have landlords, right? So you have tenants that were working for the government, aren't getting their paychecks, so they're trying to figure out rents, right? They should have reserves. Then you have the people whose leases were up during the shutdown time. Those folks are they're in limbo because they had Section 8 or whatever government program tenants in there, and they can't renew their leases to make sure they're continuing to get their checks and stuff. It's a huge ripple effect, but it's a reminder. You have to make sure that you're in a solid financial position personally, because you never know. Never know.
So, okay. So here's some of the questions. Thank you. Todd the mod is in here wilding, y'all. Anyway, okay. Anna Block. Okay, wait, let me see.
All right, blocking people.
You mentioned opportunity zones. Can I just
jump in? It's a panel, baby. You gotta jump on in. All
right, perfect. I'm in there. I'm it's double Dutch. I'm still learning. I got it. No, so for those of you who don't know, Opportunity Zones, it's a new program that started December 2017. And the goal of Opportunity Zones is to take $6.1 trillion of unrealized capital gains, money that's on paper, that's sitting there, that isn't spending or doing any work, and take that money and deploy it into low-income census tracts through real estate and through businesses. That's kind of a high-level overview. They hadn't updated the regulations, so nobody really knew quite how this program was going to work. It's going to give huge tax breaks to people who can realize capital gains, but they didn't know the intricacies yet. So on October 19th, the regulations came out and people had a lot of different questions because it still wasn't fully defined. That's October 19th, 2018, a couple months ago. So the IRS gave the general public up until January 10th, yesterday, in order to pick and probe and understand and ask as many questions as possible. So on January the 10th, yesterday, there was to be a public hearing where the questions would be answered and then further guidance would be given, and the program would be defined a little bit more. Again, so this large amount of unrealized capital gains would be transferred and realized and then put into these low income census tracts to rebuild houses, to put businesses together, to help infuse capital into these low income census tracts. Unfortunately, with the government shutdown, it was canceled. So there wasn't too much that could be done. And people are still having a lot of questions. They want to deploy money. They want to start funds. They want to get things going to help out these low income census tracts and also to realize these tax breaks. But we don't know how yet.
Yeah, I mean, even Jeff Bezos' wife is like, "What's up? I'm trying to get these opportunity zones." So I just want to make sure she got her time right.
She got a lot of capital gains coming to her. So she's trying to make that money work, honey.
Exactly. It's funny, but it's very real. If anybody wants more information about opportunity zones, we're happy to share resources.
And the links are in the comments. If Doug or any of the moderators, I've been emailing links. I'll send some more links out. I apologize. Gosh, we got some more Maryland people in here. So, okay.
I see there's a ton of questions.
See, you started off wrong today, but we gonna get you. He said, how can I flip a house with $1,000?
With $1,000. So here's what you can do with $1,000. You can You can market for properties, right? You can find properties with using that $1,000 to pay for your marketing, so that you can find a house and then wholesale it, and you flip the house, you flip your money that way, right? Purchasing a property, to say that you're going to be able to buy a flip and do a flip with $1,000 is a stretch, right? You could use OPM, you could use someone else's money and only put $1,000 of your own money into the deal. But you'd have to, make sure you have the right team, everyone has the right money, and, partner up with someone. It's probably the best way. You can use $1,000. But to say you're going to buy a house and flip it on your own with $1,000 is a bit of a stretch. But if you have the right team and the right tools, you might be able to pull it off. We typically put more than $1,000 into it. Are you?
I love how Pierre really answered it for real when other people in the chat are like, "You asking for a miracle."
I know. I was trying to be nice today. I'm trying to live my life right.
But they are for real professionals. They're like, well, you know what you can do.
But I mean, is it a stretch? Absolutely, right? You can, but there's way. I mean, we've definitely done houses where we put in a very minimal amount at closing for sure, because we were able to be creative in how we put the deal together. But to say that, a newbie can do that off the block is a little bit of a stretch if you don't have the right mentors to tell you what to do and how to do it. There's like tons of questions in here.
There's 142 of y'all in here right now. Make sure you're hitting the like button. Okay, so what's the next question I thought was good. Where do you find, Jerry Westbrook asked, where do you find your team that you're working with? Khalil? Sorry, go ahead.
It takes a lot to find a team. It takes a lot of probing, a lot of you got to dig through a lot of dirt to find the diamonds, right? That's kind of a saying that's very true in almost any industry, especially in this industry, especially with contractors. So how we started out, we started interviewing folks. We'd bring one electrician or one general contractor or plumber to a site, and we'd have him walk the site, and he'd point the different things out and say, oh, that's interesting. And we'd say, what? He'd say, oh, well, for a plumber, for example, the stack is supposed to be 4 inches and it's only 3 inches. And we put that note into the back of our head so that when the second plumber came, we'd be like, hey, that's an interesting stack. It's supposed to be 4 inches, right? And then all of a sudden the second plumber would say, oh, okay, he knows a little bit. And we do that over and over and over for each trade. And, eventually you start keeping people, and even those people who you keep for a while, things may turn south. But it's all about kind of keeping your eyes open for good, strong people.
Yeah, we like to keep a really strong bench. So we'll have multiple options at any given time. We, because we have the rentals, we're able to kind of test people out on rental properties. And then as they build our trust and show that they're consistent, we can move them into the bigger properties or bigger projects. We just like to be able to, we talk all the time, like we hire slow, fire fast. I'm usually the one that does a lot of the construction management stuff. Khalil does it as well, but I usually do most of the residential stuff. He focuses more on the commercial or the larger projects that we probably don't talk about much. You guys probably don't know much about those projects, but for me, like my guys know, like I really don't take much mess. Yeah, I be firing people.
I call her every day of the week, y'all. She be firing somebody. I be like, girl, it's Tuesday. Somebody got fired already. What happened?
I'm telling you, they didn't make it through the week. Nah, but what's important, because we got too much stuff going on to deal with a bunch of foolishness, right? And the guys who have been with us for a long time know and understand that, and so they know when the check is coming, when I'm going, and not a good check, not the one that I signed, but getting checked. Like, get yourself together. And Khalil and I manage folks completely differently, but everyone knows exactly what to expect from me. I don't take a whole bunch of mess, and I don't want a bunch of excuses, because at the end of the day, you're not going to want an excuse from me when you want that check signed. So I want to make sure things get done well and done on time. So anyway, we'll switch people out and switch them around and try new folks, and but we have the portfolio to be able to try new things and try new people.
Yeah, I always see Aisha Sutton, or I'm messing her name. She's a stockbroker up in Philly. She's always sharing, like, you asked me for a contractor, how dare you? Because like I took so long vetting people and getting through people to even get this one, and now you give it to you.
Absolutely. People DM all the time, like, do you have a contractor? And, we don't usually, with our next gen folks, we'll share our people and we'll, do that. But other than that, like that's like asking for some real private information, because you build that relationship. Once you have somebody that you can trust and you want to use them over and over again, if you share them all over the place, then all of a sudden they don't got time for your jobs. Like,
you got to keep it growing.
You don't want that. You don't want that.
Exactly. It's very true. But like Kiara said, for our next gen folk, we're more than happy to share. Kiara, do you want to talk a little on next gen?
We have before, but it is our 10-week intensive, our 10-week program on investing in Baltimore. So we spend a whole lot of time about getting started in real estate. But beyond that, how do you get started in real estate and do well here in Baltimore, where it's very Black to Black? There's a whole bunch of different laws and rules and things that people don't necessarily understand all the time. So you get Baltimore is our expertise. That's where a vast majority of our properties are. And so you get everything from us on investing in Baltimore. We actually had a closing today, which I'm really excited about. Another person buying a property, because the goal is everyone to buy a property in Baltimore within 6 months of the program. So everybody,
yeah,
that's next gen.
So everybody who's in the chat, I know we had some Next Geners in the chat a couple days ago. If you're in here, you're from Next Gen, drop Next Gener in the chat. If you're interested in investing in Baltimore, put Be More in the chat. Put Be More in the chat, so we can always find a way to work out some kind of deals, or they find some kind of discounts. Again, they did a really great Charm City Buyers Christmas with us. So, we just always want to share. I would like to thank Caddy Williams from joining us from Hong Kong. We always have like a Hong Kong. We have a London guy that shows up in some military dudes.
Oh, yeah.
Michael Ward say, do you have a contractor on payroll, or these are just people you call out?
So we have maintenance folks on payroll, not necessarily like GC contractors. So it depends on the role, but we do have maintenance folks that will be on payroll.
Okay, so Todd Capital asks, what is the best way to evaluate comps to determine ARV?
So Baltimore's Black to Black again, so you got to know where you're at. But we will look at the last 6 months of sold comparables with the same number of beds and baths within a certain diameter, so like the neighborhoods. But that's how we'll pull, and then we'll average them out to figure out the ARV. But we usually do last 6 months, same beds and baths within that same area, similar size house, and then average it out.
Well, Khalil, you're doing commercials, so yours is different though. Yours commercial level, right?
Literally, it could be something where literally right around the corner, walking distance even, it's a completely different house, right? You got $150,000 house and a $20,000 house. Both have sold in the last 6 months, both at 3 beds, 2 baths, 1,500 square feet, whatever the size is. But so it's very Baltimore specific. You got to know what's going on around here. There are a lot of vacant properties, but there may not be a lot of value in some of those vacants.
Something I really like, Aisha says, she said she imagined these vacants, once she fixes them, having a family in them.
Oh, so absolutely.
That's what I think with you guys doing Baltimore. It's like, well, now you're making Baltimore better by having a clean, safe, functional, nice place for somebody to live with their family.
Yeah, and that was what kind of what we started on. Like our very first home was this vacant, ugly vacant shell in Connecticut. I'm just watching Glow. This ugly vacant shell, and in a neighborhood that really deserved better, honestly. And no one else, we were planning on wholesaling it at first, but no one else really believed in the neighborhood and believed in the home as much as we did. So we kept it and did it ourselves. And that became like the foundation of everything we did. How do we take these vacant houses, make them homes, and build community in the process? Because like doing the renovations and the level of renovations that we do, and Aisha Sheldon, her houses look like ours when she starts them. So you have to have a goal more than just making money, because you're really going to deal with a ton of headaches doing projects as large as ours are. But it's just the thought that you're able to take this vacant eyesore and make it like a home, which is a foundational need for people, and just like from a not only from a physical perspective, right? You need like warmth and home and a roof or whatever, but just from an emotional, mental perspective, like being able to provide a home and to take a neighborhood and a community that was forgotten or left to the wayside, or literally, right? This house is deteriorated over time. All of our houses have been vacant for a really long time, and make it like pretty, make it livable, make it something that people are proud to walk past versus kids walking to the bus every day and, walking past boarded up homes all the time, right? It's transforming neighborhoods and transforming communities.
And to your point, Erica, what's really cool about kind of where we are and where we're going is we're starting to set comps. So we start to go into neighborhoods that are transitioning that may not have a comp around. And we determine what that comp will be based on what we do and how we do it. And of course, we get appraisers and everything else. But once you get to that point and you're starting to set comps, the game changes.
Okay. So again, we talked about this when she was on the show last time, grids and zip codes. A lot of y'all, we can tell where y'all live, where y'all be at. If it's in the South, we're talking about zip codes and neighborhoods. She told y'all last time there's over 300 neighborhoods in Baltimore. Am I saying it right?
Yeah, I think it's 276 or something like that. Almost 300 Baltimore neighborhoods.
Okay. So again, thank you, mods. Whenever somebody's disrespecting the comments, to the wall. Okay, to the wall you go. All right. So again, we're talking about block by block, which is a grid type conversation. Block by block is grid. Zip codes are neighborhoods. That's a very Southern concept, and so you gotta get that through there. So okay, there's so many. So I see a next gener in here. What's up, Rosalind Joseph's a next gener. I see a lot of be more. If I can invest long distance, you can invest anywhere in the world. No one stops.
Yeah, we've helped people buy here from while they were in Spain. So
this guy said he was be more in 2014, but then he punked out.
Oh no. That would have been a good time to buy. We bought a house in 2013 for 26 grand, and now houses over there are selling for 170. So
yeah, exactly.
You should have bought.
If he'd have bought in 2014, he'd have been good right now.
He's been like counting his money on the cruise boat. So thank you, Larry Mallory, for the $1.99 super chat. He said Trump can't hold Miss Williams back. That's right. Somebody said some VA loans cannot be processed right now during the shutdown. Y'all heard
I'm
that?
not surprised. I heard that there were tons of veterans being impacted right now because of whose budgets have been funded and whose hasn't. So that's a shame.
Okay, so then, people say layers on layers, multiple streams of income. That's right. All right, where's another one?
What's funny? I know someone she isn't getting paid because of she's out because of the government shutdown, but she moves into her free and clear house and she's chilling. She on vacation. She got all these. She has rental properties, chilling in her free and clear property. She ain't got nothing to worry about. So if you get ready or if you stay ready, you don't gotta get ready. So for her, she was like, vacation.
Yeah, I mean, the furlough doesn't have to be, oh my God. The furlough is just a time for you to reflect on what you need to do next in this 2019. So if a furlough happens again, you're not trapped. You know what I mean?
Right.
You have options.
Right. Especially if you're an employee, because you're going to get the money back. Like once they open it, you're going to get back pay, right? If you're a contractor, you're not. You really want to be thinking about how you're managing your money. But the employees, government employees, they're going to get back pay. But it's a reminder. What are you going to do with that money once you get it?
So I remember you guys saying that people send y'all deals all the time. All the time they flood y'all with deals. So Todd Capital asks, do you ever ask a wholesaler how much they have the home under contract for? Or do you just evaluate the numbers they bring you?
So
wait,
it depends.
Khalil unmuted himself. Hold on, he read it. Hold on, he unmuted himself. Khalil, please, I'll let you go.
Think about this. Yeah, it's not a problem to ask how much they have the contract under, because eventually you're going to want to see the actual contract to make sure that what you're being bound to makes sense. If you're going to agree to a contract, whatever contract that is, you have to see it. So you might as well ask the question.
Okay, so for the record, if some wholesaler is trying to bring you a contract, Khalil want to see that contract. He ain't gonna. He want to see some numbers, and
Mm-hmm.
you're agreeing. You're legally taking over a contract someone else wrote. So you got to really think about that. That's really important. Just that aspect alone. Like think about that.
Mm-hmm.
So go
Yeah.
ahead. Take care. I don't want to cut you off.
No, absolutely. No, I completely, Khalil already knows because we do it together all the time. So my answer is going to be the same. But yeah, I know Nita probably wouldn't like that answer, but yeah, we definitely will ask, especially if we don't like, if the numbers aren't right and we're going to coach them on getting, maybe adjusting their price. I don't care if a wholesaler makes their money, but a lot of times I will ask if the deal doesn't make sense or if they're a newbie or something. If I can tell something's not right, I'm like, well, what do you have it under contract for? We don't have no problem asking that question.
Yeah, and it's not so that we can beat them down on their pricing. Like if the numbers work for us, great. Then the numbers work. I don't care if $5,000, $10,000, $15,000 wholesale fee. I just want to know what the contract actually says. Like, how much is my earnest? How many days do I have to close? Are there any contingencies? Like all that type of stuff.
Yeah, and like, is a contract written right? Because a lot of times people are just making up their own contracts and stuff. Like, what does it say in there? And yeah.
So if I call you and I give you some kind of deal, but you know the area, right? Like hypothetically, somebody sent you some raggedy mess in Baltimore.
Hypothetically, that happens every day.
What do you say to them? They're like, hey, I got this deal for you, and they email you. What's something you say back without like crushing them? What's something you say back to them?
If it's bad, like if it's really bad, or if they send me junk and I think it's good, usually I'll coach them. Like that's what we do, right? We coach people all the time. And so I'll coach them. I'll say, hey, I know this area well. I know how much these rehabs cost. Your rehab value is extremely low, or you're asking way too much because the houses are only selling for X amount. Or whatever. So I'll give them some facts about what's going on over there so that they can either go back to the seller and renegotiate, or at least they're just more informed when they talk to someone else. I do that all the time. I try not to crush. I'll just, coach them and hope that they take the feedback and run with it, because, if I do say so myself, I think it's pretty good advice most of the time.
If I don't say so myself.
I just try to help them out a little bit.
But of course, some people are just so fragile, and it's not just men, it can be women too, but some people are so fragile that they can't accept the advice. They can't accept the feedback, but it's always in a very good spirit where Kiera delivers the feedback. It's like, hey, we'd love to buy it if the numbers work. So you got to go back and make the numbers work.
Yeah. I think, listen, at the end of the day, if you're filling up your pipeline, because Nina likes me to use the word pipeline, not funnel. If you're filling up your pipeline right, if she asks you to take 1,000 off or 500 off or some kind of amount, it shouldn't destroy your month. You should have so much coming through the pipeline that this deal, if you're flexible with them, now you can work with them again in the future because you have other deals that they are interested in. So again, people you got to go, hey, I'm willing to give a bit here to get, right? So again, Adrian Stanford said, builders and contractors usually use subcontractors. The builder usually handles the carpenter, quotations, trade on the jobs. From what I've seen lately, they don't even do that. It's just some man or woman. Are y'all having any problems with that? Like, the
GC doesn't actually do work? Is that what they're saying? Mm-hmm. They're more so management. So at the end of the day, if your contractor with the GC or the builder makes sense and the numbers work, how they spend that money to get the work done, and as long as they're getting like the timeline's good and everyone's being managed correctly, I don't care if they're swinging a hammer or not, as long as they're managing as long as they're managing the project. I don't really care as much. But for us, I spend a lot of time managing it myself anyway, but just in general, like if I hire a general contractor and he's not swinging a hammer, but he's managing the hell out of the project, what do I care? That's how I feel about that. I don't know. Like, I don't know why that would be a problem.
Okay.
Personally.
All right. So I'm sorry, I'm reading different ones to add to.
I know there's a lot of comments on here.
Somebody said, as an Oklahoma plumber, I would love you guys to come there. What part of Oklahoma are you in, man? Let's see. What else? We got an Indianapolis master electrician, licensed and bonded. Okay, suburban home. Okay, I see y'all. Shouting out y'all work. What else? Todd Capital said y'all making Baltimore great again.
Trying to.
Thank you, Todd. Todd Capital.
Charles, Todd Millie, Todd Billy.
I go Todd Capital Tax, Todd Capital Credit, Todd Capital.
All that. I was like, oh my goodness. What else can this man put his name on? Yes.
Calendars next month. Todd Capital calendars.
Yes. I know he already got Todd Capital t-shirts.
David Porter said HUD is also having issues too.
Not surprised. Anything federal government is going to have some major issues right now. And what's going to happen also is like for the next probably month or two, there's going to be a lot of catch up and still some more residual impacts of what's going on. So it's not over. And even when the shutdown ends, it won't be over.
Right. And right now, as of today, this is going to be the longest government shutdown in history. I saw that because they I guess everyone decided to go home on Friday at like 2:00. So that announcement came out earlier this year. They was like, dang, they don't even work till 5? It's terrible.
So they were like, I ain't saying if I ain't get paid. Now, someone said it's done. I don't know how to say this. So Dundalk. Where's that city?
Dundalk? Is that maybe was trying to say Dundalk?
Yeah. Dundalk area outside of Bmore. Rita Stark said, how is the Dundalk, whatever y'all call that, area outside of Bmore for investing?
It's go ahead.
So for those of you who don't know, the Dundalk area is just outside of the city on the far east side of the city in the county. And what's great about Dundalk is its proximity to Canton and downtown and Highlandtown and a few other areas, but it also has a lot of waterfront property. And it's relatively inexpensive compared to other waterfront properties. So Dundalk area is still a fair investment. I would kind of
wait. What's that head nod?
I know.
Like,
I'm waiting for. I'm gonna see because this is
like a rock, and I'm like,
you know how you can always tell when we're trying to be like politically, like a little politically correct. Like it's coming. Like we're trying to figure out.
Even up in the background. What are you trying to say, Cole?
It's still a fair investment. I would tread lightly and understand the neighborhoods and the areas. But yeah, Dundalk, man, make it happen.
Can I walk in Dundalk at night? Is that what you're trying to say? I cannot walk.
No. I mean, Dundalk is kind of like Dundalk. So first of all, that area you're hearing more and more about, like Dundalk and Middle River, people are starting to buy up over there more as people are transitioning from the city into the county. So you hear about those areas more.
Rita apparently know that area. She says it used to be hood. The Greek surgeon said very lightly in Dundalk.
Very lightly.
Very lightly in Dundalk.
It's not like a Baltimore is primarily, what is it, like 60, 70, 80% Black or something? It's not in those areas. So it's like a little bit more historically, a little bit more hillbilly-esque.
Todd Capital said, is that going to be the Newberry Farms? Yeah, it may be. It may be if they're talking about Dundalk. Somebody, listen, where Apple is going here in Austin, I drove by the high school. And all of a sudden, the high school, this is weeks before Apple said it was coming. All of a sudden, the high school had $8 million they thrown up on front of this high school. $8 million they thrown up on the elementary school. People are like, what is this? What are they doing? I'm like, pay attention. These are signs. They've fixed all the roads by over here. They've done all this area. Why are they doing this? Something is coming. Pay attention. So if you're hearing Dundalk or if you're reading about Dundalk in the newspaper anywhere, if I were you, if you start seeing roads improve, you start seeing new schools scheduled, pay attention. You start seeing things in your community impact magazines, pay attention. Like the other day, I pulled a community impact from around the Austin, Texas area. I pulled the one for the Round Rock. And sure enough, they had in there the income, the diversity of the area. They were like, we were proud to have 15% African Americans. 15% African Americans in Pflugerville, Hutto, and 10% in Round Rock. Now, why were they doing that? They were just doing that to kind of poop on Austin, that Austin went from 25% Black to 6% Black. So it's like, look, you can come out here. We've got great places.
There's more of you guys in this neighborhood.
There's higher.
Come on, find your cousins.
You know what I mean? So you have to look at what are the news and the articles and the housing, kind of saying in the tea leaves. But again, it's just one of those things. So Malik Vanderpool said, leave Berry Farms alone. I used to live over there. Malik, we respect you, Malik. You're a hard-working man. But that Berry Farms, Kendra done told us about it. She done told us.
Oh, no.
Well, when Kendra came on, she was so politically correct. People were in the chat talking about, you can get stabbed in Berry Farms. And Kendra would not react.
She wouldn't do it.
She was like, you are not
I feel like, Dundalk, although we do hear that more often, like in the investor circle, it's still not like a target area for me. I don't know, Khalil, you might be different, but that's not high on my list of neighborhoods. And people ask me where you should be looking. Dundalk is never on that list, but there's nothing wrong with that area. It's just, I'm just going to be honest. Like, it's never been on my list.
Agree with you. And I'm not sure why it's not on our list of target areas, but Amazon, the large plant, is out in that general area. It's probably 5 or 10 minutes from Dundalk. So it has some potential.
It does. It definitely has potential, which is probably why it comes up like in the circle. It's just like out there. It's just far from us. That's probably why.
Well, okay. So there's 152 of y'all here. Make sure you're hitting that like button. The last thing I was going to say about Berry Farms, just our last part, Malik, I promise. Kendra was on the live and somebody was downstairs and they were bamming on the door, right?
It was like, that's Berry Farms.
They were like, oh my God, is she okay? Because she left the camera to go check the door. I was like, no, Kendra has not been shot. She is okay, y'all.
Oh my gosh.
So we are not going to talk any more bad about Berry Farms. It is being revitalized. It is beautiful. Andre Hatchett said, are you trying to take his spot on the show? Listen, Kiara said she was trying to beat your numbers, Andre.
Look,
she trying to come mad.
Just watch it happen, Andre. You'll be just fine.
You're talking about you doing 5 shows next week. Okay, so, all right. I know y'all busy people, so I don't want to kill y'all afternoon, but what is, just for the record, so that people don't think it's all sunshine and rainbows, what is one mistake? What is like your biggest, like as a company in real estate, your guys' mistake, and what did you learn from it?
That's a good one. So first, I'm going to give the vanilla answer and then I'll pick something. But honestly, the most important thing ever is as you make mistakes, they all become lessons and then we end up being better as a result. So like,
don't give me no job.
I know, but it's true, right? It's so true because a lot of what we've been through has formed where we are. So I could easily choose our very first deal, our very first transaction. Like we bought the house wrong, bought it wrong. Like who does that?
Muted and making faces. So I'm just trying to figure it out.
I know he is making faces. I don't know if he's making faces at me or what.
I'm trying to remember. I'm thinking about the question and trying to think about what my answer will be. I think I got it.
Yeah, so we bought the house wrong. We didn't do, we weren't informed. We didn't have mentors. We didn't take a class. We didn't, whatever. And so we were rushing into a deal, decided that we wanted to save money on closing costs. So we weren't going to get a warranty deed. We weren't going to get title insurance. We were just going to buy it via quick claim, didn't pull the title and had $8,000 worth of water bills and $3,000 or $4,000 worth of taxes or something crazy. So off the gate, we had all these bills that we had to pay, which was not part of the plan because we didn't want to pay, $1,100 for closing. So that was dumb. We will never do that again. So learn from that. And it just made us think differently, like trying to rush into the process and not going through the steps that we knew we should have, just trying to get the deal. So.
Yeah, exactly. And that was a huge learning point for us. I think in general, from a macro perspective, it's like emotionally purchasing, right? Like getting excited and anxious. And this is fun and it's cool. And I'm doing it. I'm finally doing it. And not going through the full process, not asking every single question about closing, right? What are the lawyer fees? What are the document processing fees, transfer, recordation taxes, all of those different things that are needed so that you better understand what your closing costs actually are and how the property is going to work and what it's going to sell for. You got to make sure that you stay very rational, very level-headed, pretend like it's not your first time if it is, and just like tunnel vision, right? Stay focused on the numbers.
Right. And that helps inform like the spreadsheets and stuff that we have, and like all the different things that we use internally now. Like we calculate all that stuff out to a T as a result of just like rushing into things and making sure that we are letting the numbers make the decisions for us, rather than just like getting overly excited or just using these quick estimates that people, gurus of the world will give you, right? These little quick equations, when it's deeper than that, and the numbers matter in detail. And so we spend the time and created like all these tools so that we could figure out what those numbers are proactively, because the numbers make the deal. That's what's important.
Listen, so if you guys listen, I bring on various successful people. What do they keep telling you? Screen the tenants. Actually read what you just screened. Do those background checks. I'm going to give y'all, listen, y'all don't rush me on my show. They going to give you their class information. Hold on a minute. Hold on. They so used, they like, give us the class. Where the class at?
What you selling? What you selling?
Listen, give me a minute. Doug's not even here. So the links I sent Doug, there's nobody to even put them in the chat. So give me a second. I'm going to put them in there for y'all.
Damn.
Andre Hatchett, anybody put Charm City buyers information. I don't care about that. I don't even get credit for that. Put that in the conversation. So look, what do they keep saying over and over? Screen the tenants. Screen the any title search on the property is what I'm hearing. The 3 is it's okay to ask the wholesaler what you got on the deal. And, look, you got to see the contract at some point anyway, because I keep hearing a lot of people on the internet say some wholesaler sent me a deal, wouldn't even send me their address, right? Or wouldn't send me any of the, important details. Listen, got to have some trust in this game, but you also got to trust. And what do we say on this channel? Verify, trust, but verify. Okay. So again, I see y'all up in here. Comment. Okay.
Listen, there's so many comments. I'm trying to go through them too.
Didn't we talk about decorum? Thank you, Greek surgeon. Remind them. Didn't we talk about decorum yesterday? Okay. There's a way to answer me that. Okay. Hot Chocolate said, which I just said hot because I want to. As a newbie investor, and thank you for your $4.99 super chat. Thank you for supporting the channel. As a newbie investor, what are the best tools and resources to educate myself on Baltimore market? Hold on. And then 2, which we'll answer the second part of their question. So just do the first part. What are the best tools and resources to educate myself on the Be More market? Feel free to promote yourself right now.
Oh, okay. I was like, I can give some free stuff, and I can give our stuff. So our stuff, we have a ton of different things. My stuff. Okay. So we spent a lot of time taking what we've learned, and because people reach out to us, right? We started sharing our story, telling people what we've done, what we've been accomplishing, and what we're going towards. And they would ask us questions all the time. So we end up packaging it all together to make it easier on everyone to learn. And so we have, so for those, I know there's tons of questions about how you get access to other people's money and leverage, especially my man who had $1,000 to flip. We do have OPM is King as a class. So in that class, we go through the different approaches you can take to leveraging other people's money to invest in real estate, which I've gotten like really, really great feedback about. And really that is the foundation of how we've been able to grow all of our properties, all of them, except the one that I'm sitting in right now. We use some form of other people's money. This is the only house that we use the bank for. So that class is kind of the foundation for how we've built our portfolio and how we built it so quickly over the last 6 or 7 years now. So that's a really great one to start off. We also have flipping for max profits, which is a brand new class, but one that we share that spreadsheet, that tool that I told you about that we now use to make sure that we know all the numbers in the deal. That class is pretty dope too, and talks about how you really analyze flip numbers, and then takes you through the tool that we created for us internally that we're sharing with everyone, and a guide on how to use it the most, as effectively as possible. We have class on opportunity zones. We have class on all kinds of stuff. Eric has the links to all of them. You can also reach out.
Give me a second. We're throwing, Andre Hatchett is throwing the links in there. If you guys give me 1 second.
You'll get all those.
Y'all, please. Don't be messaging me. Don't be emailing me.
Right.
Okay. Please do not.
Next gen is awesome too. We have a ton of newbies in next gen who are really excited about investing in Baltimore. And we take them through the entire life cycle of investing and specifically talk about Baltimore. We talk about Baltimore neighborhoods, Baltimore leases, Baltimore tenants, Baltimore houses, Baltimore contractors, the whole nine, and get guidance through like the closing process with pushing everyone and holding them accountable to reach their goals in investing in real estate, which is like super dope.
Slow that down. Slow that fuck down. Slow down. Okay, now, so you're saying I can go to a class. It's called the Next Gen. So where is this class? Is it online? Are you in it? Or is Khalil in it? Like, who am I talking to?
Yeah, so it's 10 weeks. It's online, although we do offer a few times where everyone gets together, but it is online. So folks from all over the country will join in. It's Khalil, myself. We have guests that come in. We have realtors, psychologists, all kinds of folks that will join in, get access to lenders, our contractor teams. We analyze deals together. It's like super intense because we fit a lot into 10 weeks, but it's a lot of information and a lot of support. So we had another person closing today on their property. We have someone else. We just started the new class 2 weeks ago. We have someone making an offer on a property already. So we're working through that process. That's a seller finance deal. So a lot of the folks are able to leverage other people's money since we spend so much time focusing on that strategy. A lot of people are getting seller finance deals. There's someone doing subject to deals. Like there's a lot going on. So that is next gen. But yeah, it's all online. You have us. And then everyone kind of becomes a family. And then once you're in next gen, you're like always in next gen. So they take the class multiple times as we get new folks in the door. So the next one starts in May. So folks are already starting to sign up to get ready for the May class.
And just so everybody knows, the class size is limited because we want to make sure that literally we want everybody to purchase a property within 6 months of finishing the class. In order to do that, it takes a lot of our time, a lot of our bandwidth, especially Kiara. She does a great job helping individuals get from, oh, I've never done this, I'm a little bit scared, to, hey, I just closed on a property. I now am a homeowner of an investment property. So if you want to sign up, definitely look at charmcitybuyers.com, next gen. Again, we call it next gen because we're grooming the next generation of Baltimore's real estate investors.
Something I think really heavy on too, the reason I love bringing you guys on is the fact that in order for y'all, listen, own or be owned. Listen, again, I keep showing Andre's cup on here. Ding, 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 plug. But the reason I do is because we wouldn't have.
I wish I had one of those mugs, by the way.
Hold on. Don't make me. I bust all the mugs out, girl. All the mugs. Too many mugs up here. Okay. So look, the reason I think we're having some of the problems we're having, yes, redlining did happen. Yes, bad things have happened in our lending industry. But truly, I think part of the problem is we don't own in these areas. So when gentrification comes or happens, we're upset. But here are two young people showing you how to do it, showing you how to invest in Baltimore. You know, again, there's something I was talking about, Khalil, and this was going to be part of our Friday show, but we'll have it in the future. Is I was saying, if you actually read some of the books called Upside, some of the demographic shifts, this year, because of taxes alone, there's going to be a massive exodus out of New York, Connecticut, like, you know, we talked about Hartford while you were on, all this stuff, Connecticut, Massachusetts, to where? Where's the next city as you go down that stream? Baltimore, right? We're not going into DC. We're not going to leave New York and go to DC. We're going to leave New York and still have enough close ties that I can still kind of fly right back to New York, check on mom, check on cousins, but right there. And you guys are equal distance between Philly and DC. Like, you know what I'm talking about? Like the middle spot, the middle ground.
Yep. Exactly.
So this is a big deal.
And at the same time, Erica, there are a lot of incentives to purchase inside Baltimore City. There are all kind of grants and tax credits and all types of incentives to get people moving back into the city. So I didn't know about the exodus coming from the Northeast, but it's good to hear because you're right. People are going to start to migrate a little further south.
Between the costs of living, and also I was telling her they were showing all these magazines where, you know, I bought on Casino Is the Name out of Atlanta, and he was saying he started seeing people from his small hometown coming there for jobs. But if you're a person with some money you're a person who works remotely, which you'll see more remote workers because it's cheaper for the company to let you work from home, or at some kind of WeWork station or some kind of something, people are going to move to wherever they want. They're not going to be stuck in New York if they can't afford New York. They're going to move down somewhere cheaper. That's still a city. That's still CIAA from North Carolina. I mean, they're going to go. Yes, Baltimore stole CIAA from North Carolina. That goes to a city where there's events, there's a train system, there's transit. I mean, again, like I have this theory, but it's also a guy has this big theory where wherever he sees like bad news, he goes there the next week or month, visit it and invest. And he's a multimillionaire. The millionaire mindsets had him on. A couple different people have had him on. But essentially, like when the fire happened in California, he was out there buying houses because people are going to come back to that area, right? When Hawaii has like earthquakes and different, not earthquakes, like the volcanoes, he goes out there and he buys. Like people think, oh, bad news. People are not I'm going to have less competition from investors. I'm going to have less competition from other people. Again, the news is very powerful. So you're hearing bad stuff about Baltimore, but I told them, Andre Hatchett, who's in the comments, 3 years ago, me and Dre were talking about, do you see these dollar houses?
Mm-hmm.
We need to know somebody in Baltimore. We need to be there. Okay, years later, now we got Kira and Khalil owning a whole block. We could have been doing that.
I mean, it's what's really funny when you think about like the riots that happened in Baltimore a couple of years ago. When that happened, there was a lot of discussion on how that was going to be kind of the investment developer push to get dollars into Baltimore to really push the shift. And honestly, I can't deny it, right? After that happened, there was a lot of switching things up. And now we were in Next Gen, we were talking about North Avenue, which historically at one point was like the street in the country that had the most murders like in the country, right? Now it is, I know, but that was like in like maybe like the 80s, right?
1992, the Chronic.
Around there, you know, when Tupac and them was acting wild. So now there's movie theaters and there's like really cool co-working spaces, and it's gone from like being this artsy place to being a really like this epicenter for growth. They done renamed it Station North, right? It's this whole
I hate when they do that. They try to like boho, Soho,
yeah,
all of it.
South Congress is in Austin. They like do that, and I'd be like, no,
Right.
I won't participate. This is
Right.
East Austin. Stop denying the black people. Like here's the cool thing about East Austin and sad that all the black people are gone basically, but there's still one or two buildings that it's actual white people who've kept the integrity. Like there's a building that a black GI soldier came from Killeen. He bought a place downtown, made it a juke joint. They still got that old red nasty church, dirty looking carpet inside of it from the 70s inside of it. They still got all the pictures, BB King out there eating greasy barbecue chicken, all kind of stuff. And it's like, we should own some of these things because they're coming, because everybody's looking for affordable rent. This isn't
Absolutely.
like I think people are really not understanding in America, and this is a prime example where they had a girl talking about early retirement. She's like, well, you know, the average income is $70,000 in America, 70 to 100,000 in America. And the news anchor that she was talking to was like, what? Like I had to take a minute, like, what, girl? What you talking
Excuse
about?
me?
It is? What did it? So you were the average of the 5 people you're around, but majority of people in America make like 30, 40K. And so people are looking for affordable housing. So they're willing to move on the east side that's close to downtown, that's close to work, and make the investment. So again, what's up, Michaela? So, okay, a couple more. I'm going to finish your question, Hot Look. I promise. Hold on. Hot Look also asked y'all, since y'all gave a lot of good links. Thank you, everybody trying to share the links. I appreciate all that. He asked, do you have any favorite websites, podcasts, or books?
So gotta shout the Todd Millie podcast, right? The Millionaire podcast. We have to shout that out. And not just who is that? Todd Millie, Todd Billy Charles? So I had to shout that out, not only because we're on there more than once, but because it's actually really dope. I like turning it on and listening to it because he has really great guests and talk about not only real estate, but just finances and all kinds of stuff. I just think it's great to fill your head, especially if you're in a mindset of trying to reach your goals and push forward and all that stuff. I think it's really important that you just surround yourself with that kind of energy, and having a really dope podcast is really helpful for that, because it just kind of keeps your mind thinking and moving. And I've also just started listening to the Courtney Sanders podcast. She used to be Think and Grow Chick, but she just completely changed her platform. And I've been listening. I just think it's really dope. Khalil's texting me. And
wait, excuse me, Khalil, sir. Please throw yourself in the conversation. This is a panel. Don't be afraid. Kira don't scare us. Kira don't scare us.
That was marriage talk. That wasn't.
Well, I still want to hear what's his favorite book. I want to hear what's
your favorite book? Yeah,
bro.
So I'm gonna actually, never mind. All right, so my favorite book is and will probably be for a very long time The Secret. It's such a mindset book. Like, you just got to put into the universe what you want and keep putting it out there and keep putting it out there, and then start working towards it and thinking of ideas to get it, and then the universe will start sending that stuff back to you. So I absolutely love that book. I haven't listened to a lot of podcasts recently. I think everybody's business life and really life cycle goes through different phases. So you do the study, the education phase, then you do the execution phase, then you do the reflection phase, and it's all types of different phases, right? So right now I'm definitely focused on execution. It's execute. I got to get my head down. I got to knock some things out, and then I can come back up for air and start to study again.
Yeah, I'm definitely still in reflection. Oh, and websites, if you're trying to figure out Baltimore market, I'm going to mix those two questions together. I would say check out livebaltimore.com, which will help you understand neighborhoods and what's happening in Baltimore from a general real estate perspective. I think that would be a good website to check out.
Okay, so somebody asked, were you Ethiopian, which I don't know. That's his business if he wants to share.
Who Ethiopian?
Khalil.
Okay.
Oh.
You know, funny, that's not the first time somebody's asked me that. I must have some ancestral past.
Well, the name Khalil, I was confused if you were, listen, before I met them, y'all was like, is he Somali? What the heck is this brother over here? If you ever go to Minnesota, you know what I'm talking about. Some of y'all know what I'm talking about. All the Somalians in that area. So,
yep.
But here's the thing. I want y'all to really hear what Khalil just said. There are phases to this. I keep saying this. A lot of y'all go, Erica, what kind of books are you reading? What books are you reading? And I'm not knocking people reading books. You should read at all times. But there are phases to this. There's like the get obsessed. And like I was telling them on the show, Khalil, that I have like 400 books at my mom's house that she's like, please get these out of here in the garage. Then I have like 400 books here that I got all these poor movers have to move in a week. But what I keep telling people is I read the book, immediately did this. Whoop, read it, put it down, immediately took action so that I could see if it was true what was in the book. Like, that was the whole point, like to use it, apply, right? So a lot of times people are like, what are you reading right now, Erica? I'm like, I'm neck deep in execution. That's what I do. Like I get obsessed and then I make a decision and then go. Like, same thing with trucking. I literally went, I've been talking about this trucking for a while. I took a week, obsessed, read everything I could read, made a decision.
I'm the exact same way. Especially with the opportunity zone stuff. For example, there was a lot of dense reading. Read, and then you come up there and you start to execute on it. Okay, we're gonna start an opportunity fund. This is how we're gonna do it. This is the amount. Blah 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 blah. And a bunch of different other things. But it's so important. You gotta be able to execute. If anybody asks me what I'm reading right now, like what am I reading? I'm reading more legal documents that I can stand to read.
But it goes in phases. It goes in phases.
Yeah, exactly. We're in full execution mode right now.
Like, I got stuck at a point and I was like, okay, I should be making, like, not even to be bragging, but I should be making like $1 million here. This is crazy, right? But something is preventing me. Either it's here, it's a lack of knowledge, it's a lack of action, something's stopping me. So what did I do Black Friday? I bought training. I went to it like, here, Grant Cardone send me something. You send me something. And then read and apply, because there's a great book that says what got you here won't get you there.
Absolutely.
A lot of the techniques a lot of y'all are building for your businesses and your ideals, let's just be honest. I had to start a whole new LLC for one project because I done made a mess. Like, I was like, okay, we got to start over from absolute scratch. This LLC has to be untouched by any other projects by itself. You know what I mean? And so those things, when you actually think about it, like what got you here is the level of thinking you have right now. So when you start getting stuck, that's when you reach out and go, you know what I need? I need
You gotta
more
level up.
studying, I need more reading. I need more mentorship with other people who are going a level up. But like the constant voraciousness of reading, I love that of everybody wanting to read. I love that Ty Lopez is making a bunch of money off Mentor Box. I think that's a smart idea. People have books in their home. I want people to have more books in their home than TVs. But at the end of the day, there has to be action. Because once you start taking it, that's when you see, right? Like when I go to Baltimore and I go look at it and be like, okay, that's what that is. Okay, like on the show, I do a thing. I'm gonna have Kiera on, and she's gonna come back and do it with us. She's gonna give me the colleges, so I can look that up. Kiera, remember to do that. So we can look at certain areas. We can look at certain real estate. Actually, go on Realtor.com. Actually, go look at like GS Maps. Actually, go on Patch of Land and other ones and review those areas, because I made a comment in one of the videos about Philly. I was like, this looks dangerous. I won't even live over here. And everybody's like, Erica, it's $126,000 in Philly. It's going to be cheap rent. It's going to be affordable. You know what I mean? And so like, you always got to be careful how you're addressing things. But again,
It's so funny, Erica. I'm so glad that you spent some time on that point. It's probably been about maybe 9 months, maybe a year since I've been really active on our social media platforms. Kiara's taken the reins and she is the face of it, and I love her for it. But I've kind of stepped into the background, and recently somebody said, well, is Khalil, is he even there? Can he speak for himself? Is he present? And it's like, I just don't have time for it. I have to get into execution. I got to knock up.
Brag on yourself. Brag on yourself. I ain't got time. I'm over here counting millions in my underwear. What do y'all want? Like, feel free. Like, this is a Freedom Friday show. Say what you want. I forgot Michaela behind you.
That's why I got headphones in. She can't hear.
Okay, I was like, whoops, I forgot.
I don't have time. I can't post. I can't be on live. I can't answer questions. I'm in the weeds of it. I'm reading document after document. I'm highlighting, I'm underlining, I'm sending red lines, I'm sending black lines to different attorneys. Like there's time for execution, right? There's time for studying, which should be bigger. There's time for reflection, which should be the biggest. And then there's time to enjoy it and to brag about yourself, which should be the smallest. I don't have time for the bragging and that stuff right now. So it was just a funny comment. And a lot of people would have got mad about it. Like, oh, I'm a man. I've got my own mouth and I can say what I feel and think. But
you're beyond that. You're already behind.
I don't have time to argue with petty people about petty stuff. I just don't have time for it.
As Dame Dash says, them chatty patties. Get them chatty patties up out of here, man. We ain't got time for that.
Exactly.
Y'all got some good comments. People are saying, I respect that, brother. Braggy Dub, be great. 10X. Husband and wife investors are the bomb. Success. Much love to y'all. Goddess says she loves the book. What is it? The Secret. And they have the DVD. Tony Robbins, read, take action. Okay. Yep. People are like, The Secret is real. See, I didn't even, I glanced at The Secret a little bit, but here's what I know. There's a book called Ask More, Get More. And I keep talking about this book. And what it is sometimes is there is Ayanna and Van Zandt. Ayanna fixed my life. I don't think she done fix anybody's life. But the point of the story is she had a great quote where she's like, it's self-esteem and it touches every aspect of your life. So how do we grow our self-esteem? By being knowledgeable, one, reading, getting more knowledge, but two, the action. So if you're a guy like you read every workout magazine that you ever read, but you never go to the gym and work out, it's like you can't be confident in that knowledge because you haven't executed, right? Like same thing with your life. Like you get confidence from taking action. And I think the reason I'm so big on reading The Slight Edge or The Compound Effect is like every little bit y'all add to that, y'all building your own confidence to talk to people, to get more investors, like to call people. You know what I mean? You know what I'm trying to say.
Absolutely.
Let me see. I think y'all.
Yeah, I'm like nothing but a pimp.
Oh Lord.
Why they say that?
No, don't talk about Ayanna like that. But listen, the point of the story is I was just using her as an example for self-esteem and getting in there. Now, some questions have had, does Charm City Buyers have a crowdfunding group to invest in Baltimore? They too busy, y'all. I don't even think they like call us. When they get their casino next year, y'all go ahead and call them and send your money for the casino.
It's funny. We certainly do work with other people's money, and we leverage that. If there's a passive investor out there who doesn't want to get their hands dirty, or they don't have enough time to study it first and then start to execute, we're certainly happy to entertain conversations. We've done it in the past. We're doing it in the future. Will we formalize the crowdfunding platform? I'm sure eventually. It's the same thing with the next gen class and all the other products. There was a need, there was a demand. People started asking questions, and it got to a place where we're saying, you know what, there are more questions that I'm answering a lot of the same questions over and over again. We should just figure out a way to put a product together, and that way people can have their questions answered. So this will probably happen also.
Okay,
yeah, we'll see. It might come together in 2019.
I'm gonna try to wrap them up out of here. So I'm gonna read off a couple more, and that's it. Rita Stark says, in sales, we used to say a man that never had a chance never took one. Say that again. A man that never had a chance never took one. And then here's something Todd Millie said, just to give you an example. If the news is good, you're going to overpay. If the news is bad, Todd Millie has to come play. Todd,
Millie for the win. No, I love that first quote, Erica. Like, it's true. If you didn't have a chance, you didn't take one. So, and I noticed you emphasize the word man, so I'm going to emphasize that also. All the men out there, if you're out there and you feel like you've never had a chance, grab your nuts and take a chance.
Hey,
Not the nuts.
Tariq says that. Tariq says, hold your own nuts.
Yeah.
Not the nuts.
That's his favorite comment. Hold your own nuts. That's his thing. That's his favorite thing.
You gotta walk a little bit different. You gotta walk a little funky.
Have you ever seen Barack Obama walk? Barack Obama had that
He ain't playing.
Barack Obama walking like he look good. You'd be like, all right, sir, calm that down. Like, for Michelle, take you to the house. Calm yourself, sir. Okay, so yeah. All right, you guys. They are busy people, and I respect their time. So y'all be talking wild in this chat. So I can't.
Yes, the comments be off the chain.
Y'all be off the chain. So thank you, moderators, for posting their links. Again, I'll put out a blog post. I know y'all don't harass me about these blogs. They be everywhere. They be sometimes coming, sometimes not. But I promise I'm gonna put one today because I need to do the right thing. So the key here is you want to invest in Baltimore. Hey, go check them out. 2, if you want to go to the meetup that's on my birthday, but your girl gonna be somewhere drinking pina coladas, go check them out March 9th in Baltimore.
We might have our own pina coladas because that's a meetup right before my birthday, Khalil's birthday too. So we might have to we might have to do something a little special for this meetup anyway, because I turned 30 in March. So all of March, we about to turn up.
I mean, come on.
I am geriatric.
Oh my God, I'm 30 and I'm a multi-millionaire. It's just too much. I can't take it anymore. I can't even take it. I'm just firing people every Tuesday. It's just so hard. I'm just playing with them, y'all. They're fun. Listen. Hey, thank you, TT, for the $5 super chat as we close out the show. Listen, you guys. Khalil, tell everybody where they can find y'all.
You can find
because you ain't on the internet, but you can find y'all.
Yeah.
Make sure you find us. We are Charm City Buyers on Instagram, Facebook, YouTube, and our website, charmcitybuyers.com.
Yes, and if you want the foolishness, I'll be acting a fool on Twitter, so you can follow us there too.
So yesterday, I don't even be on Twitter like that, but somebody was getting dragged, so I just went on Twitter to be like, I just want to watch the dragging. This is hilarious.
Twitter's hilarious.
I mean, when Todd's not being dragged by Black Twitter, there's other people being dragged by Black Twitter.
Yo, I drag Todd on Black Twitter sometimes. No, we have a great time. Twitter's awesome.
Okay, you guys, listen. Thank you, Charm City Buyers. Thank you for your time. Thank you, Khalil. And thank you, Kier. Thank you, Michaela, for being so patient. She probably went and ordered a pizza. She done picked up the phone and ordered a pizza. All right, thank you, Michaela. All right, you guys, this is Erica from the Classy Climb blog. If you're new here and you don't know who I am, I'm the author of Smartphone Millionaire book, How to Buy and Invest and Lend Money from the Palm of Your Hand. Definitely check it out. All the links to the show are in the description. Click them links because sometimes we have specials. So, all right, you guys, thank you for your time.
Thank you. Have a good one.